Hey Top Shelfers, welcome to After Hours, our premium content geared specifically for you, our patrons. We thank you so much for coming around here. Your support means the world to us. And for today, specifically about Simón Bolívar, I want to talk to you about his mistress. Now, Simón Bolívar was a man of principle, and in that regard, he said that after his wife died, he would never marry again. Because his heart really did break when his wife, Maria Teresa Rodriguez, ended up passing away from yellow fever early on. He actually never did marry, but that didn't necessarily mean that he was going to remain chaste the rest of his life. No, he was still a man after other women, and one of those women just happened to be a lady named Manuela Sens. And Miss Manuela Sens, S-A-E-N-Z, if you're wondering, also just so happened to be married, and also just so happened to not really love her husband all that much. And she did find that she loved Bolívar a lot. She was a great proponent of his political message. She was aggressively supportive of him, even gave ideas. Some theories say that she was one of his biggest confidants during his political aspirations. I should say throughout his political campaigns and his political aspirations. She was a major part of his career. And she's also known for having saved his life on 2 different occasions, which is pretty significant considering that she was his mistress and he would never marry her. But at the same time, I think it can be said that both of them loved each other. And let me take you through the remarkable way that she ended up saving his life twice. So the first time was at a party. And Manuela had learned of a plot, an evil, terrible plot to kill her wonderful, amazing maybe not Mister. I don't know. What's a male version of a mistress? She had heard of an evil plot to kill Bolívar, and she therefore made it her mission to tell him, hey, you're going to die tonight if you don't listen to me. And he sat there and said, well, I'm not going to listen to you anyway, and I'm going to go to this party because it's a very big party, like there's a lot of important people here, there's a lot of aristocrats, and we're going to go out there and we're going to make an appearance and we're going to make sure that all of the important people know that I am still Simón Bolívar. And so she said, fine, I'm going to go about this a different way. So while Simón shows up to this party and he's having a good time, she adorns a new type of dress, a military garb, and tries to pass herself off as one of the military commanders and tries to get into the party, in which she stopped, of course, and they said, no, I don't think so. Mind you, Manuela was pretty, and she was also pretty well known at the same time, so they weren't exactly keen on just accepting that she was going to be a military commander and letting her go by. So that disguise didn't really work. So she tried something else. Instead of the military garb of this grandiose sort of stature, instead she goes, I'll just dress in dirty rags and act like a crazy woman. And that's exactly what she did. She dressed in these horrible rags, was outside this house just screaming, Viva el Libertador, forgive my pronunciation, but Viva el Libertador, long live the liberator. And she had ticked off Bolívar so much. He heard her. He knew that was her. And she had ticked him off so much that he left the party early to go reprimand her. And upon doing so, his assassins went up to go kill him and couldn't find him because he left the party early to go scold his mistress, who the entire time was trying to get him to leave the party. It's an amazingly funny and brilliant way that she was able to get him out of the party to save his life. She's like, well, look, I'm right. You just needed to listen to me. But since you didn't, I'm going to embarrass you horribly in front of all of your friends. And then you're going to come home and you're going to yell at me, but you're going to be alive yelling at me as opposed to being dead, because that's what the assassins wanted to do. So that was the first time. Fantastic. Second time that she ends up saving his life is that the two were at his home, and she had heard of another plot to come and kill him. And the assassins actually came into the house. and she heard of them getting onto the property, and she looks at him and she gives him his sword and his pistol and says, "Go jump out the window. You, out the window." And he says, "No, of course not. I'm Simon Bolivar. I'm going to stand and I'm going to fight. If these people want to kill me, I'm going to stand up to them. I'm going to face them." And she goes, "Darling, my love, no, jump out the window." And after enough argument, he followed her and he jumps out the window and he scales down and he ends up escaping. And when they actually come up to his room, not too long after he had just left the room, they look at Manuela and they said, "Where is he?" And she convinces them and says, "I don't know. I really don't know where he's gone." And he was able to escape and run off into the forest. And it's just remarkable that she had enough sway with Bolivar. You can clearly tell that Bolivar loved her enough that he respected her opinion enough to have his life be saved by her a second time, but also that when he was reprimanding her the first time, she was also saving his life. And after he had passed away from tuberculosis, not too long after he became a dictator, she was actually ostracized by most of the ruling class, who made up Venezuela and then Colombia after Gran Colombia ended up breaking up because they didn't really like the whole dictator thing. But she was still an impassioned supporter of the man that she loved. And even though he wasn't her husband, he was truly her love. And I think someone to be honored in a way, especially down in South America, considering the impact that Bolivar had. And even today, she actually is recognized as a major political contributor to Bolivar's legacy and therefore revered in that culture. And Manuela Sanz, what a woman, certainly a woman I think every man should aspire to have, because she may save your life too.